Hello, hi, shalom, hey. Um, I wanted to recording me repeating my story. Uh, I I moved to this home in February, March two, 2020, and it was just in that time when COVID-19 started all over the world. We got a message about it in March 2020, and I had moved to this home because 2018 in August a car drive over me, but I was not killed as I sit here. But I broke my knee on the right side and my shoulder in 3 pieces. Did I broke also, and but I was alive. But I know that I fall out from a bus, a high tourist bus, and there was many Arabic young boys on the bus, and they pushed me out. I tried to hold me when I walk out from the bus, but they pushed me, so suddenly I fly out from the bus, and there was a car that didn't stop for the bus, so that car drive over me, and I still am alive, but my brain, it's I don't have a real good balance, walking balance, but inside my home am I like before the accident. I can walk inside like a control environment where there I can walk, and sometimes I walk out and go to our house where we have the trash, to go out with the trash, and it's not a long walk, but I can't walk there if my brain is not okay. But if just after I have been sleeping, I can walk normal out and not fear to fall down on the ground. So I'm working with it, and no one helped me, and I try to do a normal life. And so I got a new apartment because my landlord knew me. So they saw that I couldn't walk in the stairs in that my old home. So they knew me that I was a good person, that they want to have me staying in their area, and they make me get a new apartment where there is no stairs. I go up from the ground immediately into my home, but I have like a bridge, a little bridge for my scooter, my walking scooter. I need to have that. and I come here first to. I had already make a decision and write under the lease, but I have not moved in yet, and I come to this home because I wanted to see how it really looked like, because it was stressful, because I wanted so badly have this home, because I couldn't walk in the stairs in my old home, and so I have not really looked at it. So I come here with my scooter and walk in, and it was total empty. And when I stood and looked inside the home, I heard a voice, and the voice say, a voice in the air. I heard a voice, and the voice was saying to me that this will be a gathering place. And I was thinking in that time, because I didn't know about COVID-19, I was thinking that that will be nice, because it's a big living room, and I going to have people here, and we were going to talk about the Bible and God, and all those people that live here will come into my home. And then suddenly the COVID-19 came, and that make me take away that thinking that people should come here and I should sit and talk to them about the Bible. And I knew it was Muslims here, but I don't care, because I am not into religion. I'm into heaven and God. So I should talk to them about God and what I have experienced and what I have heard from God. And then COVID-19 came just when I got help to move in my furnitures to my home, and it be a mess in my home, because it was scaring in the beginning. You have been in this situation. It was very scary in the beginning, because it was life-threatening to get COVID-19 in that time. And so I didn't go out with my belongings. So I had full of boxes in my home, and it was a mess, and still are a mess, because it's hard for me to bring out the boxes and sit and look in the boxes. Take time to see what I should keep or what I should put in the trash. I did that when I moved, but now I have changed my mind that it's not so important, many things for me today, so I threw it away. So that was the beginning. And then in October, about September, October, I heard in the air that I should do a podcast. And I didn't know what a podcast was. So I have to look at it, Google, look at it on the internet, what it is about. And it was to have guests and sit there talking with each other. And I was thinking I can't do that because the COVID-19 is going on. So I don't want anyone to step in my home. It was scary in the beginning. And so I'm wondering how can they say that in heaven that I should start a podcast when I can't have any people here? I was wondering, and the first episodes I started to play recording music, and then I was talking about a daily topic, a daily subject, and it was about 3-4 chapter I did in that way. When suddenly one day, when I sit and recording, there come a spirit and started to talk to me and talk to you that have followed me. You maybe have followed me from the start, but as I see it today, that it's not many people that follow me, and not many people that listen at my podcast, and especially now in Europe and United States, that is summer now, so people doesn't listen at my podcast, and it's very hard because that make me not want to do the podcast, to let it be as it is only few people, but the spirit are coming and doing things and telling me to do a recording an episode because they want to talk to you and talk to me to bring up some things they have in their heart, in their mind, and they have done that. So it's I think it's 580 episodes now. It have been very much because they are eager. They want to talk from heaven, and they have placed themselves inside my home, and they are not in the air. They are here in my home. But I have told them that this is my home, my space. They are only guests here, so I am the one that decide when I want them to talk, and it's more like I don't want them to talk sometimes. You have heard it. It was interrupt for some days. I think it was almost a month. I didn't want them to talk to me because my brain couldn't take it. So they didn't say anything. And now they are talking again. And you see here most every day now. And there is not many people that listen. I have followers, but it seems like they don't listen. It's only they have set up themselves to be a follower. But I have got more listener on YouTube. I don't know how. I don't listen at my podcast, so I don't know if it's for free on YouTube, and also other platform you maybe have to pay for. and that's why people don't listen at my podcast, because they have no money today. And this is also something that the spirits have talking about this time to come when you don't have so much money. And they are talking to you in some episodes to be more doing your food at home and not go out so much, and those things to save money on. And they, from the beginning, they told you to save up food. They told us 3-4 times. They come and say that you need to store up food. And I have food from that time still, so I don't need to go and buy all those expensive food that is today. I have food for myself to eat. That is for 2-3 years ago I bought it, and it's conserve. It's in the canned goods, those food, so they don't expire. It takes some years for them to expire, and I eat up when the date is due. A little old food, but they are okay, because I have not opened it. And some food have I started to take out in the trash, because that is not healthy food. So I give it away. I don't throw it in the trash. I put it on the side in a box so people can take it if they need to take it. And it's only like peanuts, butter, and those things that I saved up, because if it be stop to could buy anything. So I bought some no healthy food, and then I take it away, because I survived COVID-19. So I don't need that food. I try to eat healthy food and homemade food. And it is for you that have not followed me and wondering what it is about this podcast. And I repeat now what was going on. That I was married to a man from Texas, but we live in Sweden because he couldn't hold a job, and we were poor, so we had to move to Sweden, because in Sweden we didn't need to be poor and out on the street. We have an apartment, a nice apartment, very nice apartment, a big apartment, because he was disabled, my husband, so he could drive around with his wheelchair. And so we moved back from Texas to Sweden in 1999. And but my husband was not a good husband. He was drinking very much. He was out in the nights, and he took drugs and bad things. He didn't care for me at all. And he did his own life like that. And I didn't drink alcoholic. I had to stop, and I was I did go to the gym. I exercise my body and try to stay slim, and was not drinking. And on my way back home from the gym, I go into the bar, and I bought something to drink, not alcoholic, to drink, because I was tired and sweaty and wanted to go home. And I told my husband to come home with me. But most of the time, 99% of it, he stay in the bar and come home about 3, 4 in the night. And then he wake me up and wanted me to do dinner for him in the night because he was hungry. And I did it. And I was thinking that the whole time when I was doing his food, and I was working, so I have to go up at 6, 7 o'clock. So that was only after giving him dinner, and then he fall to sleep. Then I could maybe sleep 2 hours before I go to my job. And I say to myself when I did the food that this will not last for a long time. So I try to hold it and not go angry at him, because this will not last. That I was thinking. And it didn't. Because then it started to be evil things, ghost things. Like I didn't know anything about God. I didn't know anything about the spirit world. And when it was from the spirit, I thought it was negative, evil ghost. And it was a mix of good and evil. And I tried to... it was when my husband, he had his daughter in Sweden coming, and then he took the flight back to Texas to give back his daughter to her mother. And when he was gone, it was very much going on. It was a little when he was also in our home, but it be more touching, more close to my daughter and me when he was gone. And my daughter was 15 years old in that time, and she had her own internet and computer things, and she felt it. And she was, one night was she out from Earth, from this planet, and she saw from distance how our planet was burning, and she was crying because she thought she could never come back to our planet. And she was still crying in the morning. And I was very happy of that. Of some reason I didn't know, but I love to hear her saying these spirit things. And I have not got be close to God in that time, but I was so very happy that she had something going on. And then one day, one evening, about the clock was 8, 9 in the evening. It was so much going on in the air, and so we decided, my daughter and I, to talk to those ghosts that touch us, and those wind that was in our home, and it was like hands that caress our side of the face and in the hair. And my daughter say, I'm going to look on internet to see how to talk to ghosts, she say. We have decided us. We need to talk to them because it was so much flying around us inside our home, and we didn't have any windows open. It was in the air there. And my daughter come back from the computer and say we should have 5 candle lights on the table. And before we sit down and have this candle light up, we should burning herbs and walk around in the home and let the herbs smell. The fragrance of the herbs should be in all the spaces we had, in the bathroom, in the store room we had, and everywhere. So we did that, and then we sit down and burn those 5 candles. We had them together, and we sit and wait for the ghost to be seen. And we were scared, so we had all the lights on in our home. We didn't sit in the darkness. We sit in very much light of lamps in the ceiling. And we sit and wait and not talking to each other. and it took so long time. And then I was thinking, no, it doesn't work. The spirits, the ghost is not coming. I was just on my way to tell my daughter that we should give up on this, when suddenly a girl came in the air. And I say to my daughter, I see an Indian girl coming, Native American girl. And she have a braid hair and black hair, black long braid hair. And then suddenly I say to my daughter, no, it's not the Indian, it's me, as a child, when I was 8 years old. And I had long hair, and my mother braided my hair. And my father used to sing a song about that he wanted a girl with a braid hair. And I was singing that song. And suddenly my father come, that have passed away for a long time ago. When I was 17 years old, he passed away. And then suddenly he come. I didn't see him. I heard his voice, and as I had heard him talking to me before he passed away, I recognized his voice, that it was my father. And he told me to forgive him for what he had done in the short life that we were together. He said that I was never home. I was not a father to you, and I was never home. I was always out and drinking. He said to me, "Can you forgive me?" And I say, "I forgive you, but there is something else you did," I say to him. I go angry because he avoid, or it was a kind of lie that he didn't bring up the worst thing he have done, and he was a pedophile. Of course, he was inside him the whole time, but it maybe come out because he was drinking so much, so he couldn't hold it back. But he was pedophile from the start. And I told him, "You didn't say this about what you did to us, your children." I say, and he said to me that I never penetrate you, he said to me. And I say to him, it's not about only to be penetrated. It's about the touch and kissing and those things that you did that was not a father to a child, but a man to a woman. You did sexual things on me. You don't penetrate, but you did other things that hurt me, I told him. And I think he didn't ask me to forgive him because I think he was a little in shame of it. Now when he was in the beginning of heaven, and I say that I forgive you, but I was a little lying to him because it was hard to forgive what he have done to me, in not only the action, but to not be my father. And so I say I forgive you, but I was thinking that I need to work on it to forgive him. I can't really forgive him. And now when they have come and talk, the spirits, I could forgive him today of other reasons. I need to go on and stop to blame all these people, because I need to focus on my life and my walk with God, and not involve people in this. It's God and I. That's what it is. And then after my father walked away, disappeared, his voice, there come other people and ask forgiveness. So I understand today. I didn't understand in that time. It was in August 2000 this happened. And I could forgive those other people that asked for forgiveness, and I learned from them what it was that they have done, that have to that I knew. Today I know it, that those people that come and ask me for forgiveness, I know that God have said that in the court, the heavenly court. They have, those in the heavenly court have told these people that if the victim, she that you have hurt, if she can forgive you, then you can come into heaven. Into heaven. It doesn't mean that they are going into the city. They maybe are in the meadow, and that's why they are not coming back and talk to us, because they are not here. They are on the meadow, and I have talked about meadow many times. I have been up to heaven, and I saw like a gold, yellow stars on the meadow, and I understand today it was people there. It was not flowers. I was thinking flowers in that time. I didn't know God when I was up to heaven and saw it. It was people, that was a light of people that looked like stars or flowers for me. You know, the brain, I have talked about the brain, that the brain can, it see things that it know, that it have, that the person have experienced those things, and if the brain, the eyes and the brain doesn't understand what it see, it try to find out something it have experienced before, because what it experience in the future, that can't it understand. It need to take from inside our brain what we have already come to know. And for me was it to see like stars in the meadow. And then I was thinking, when I did, I painted the picture of it. And then when I was painting it, I was thinking it was full of flowers on the meadow. But today I know it was people there. So they come into heaven, but only in the meadow, and those is like children that is in the meadow, and they don't remember anything about their life. And that's why they are not coming back, those that ask me for give them. And so and then suddenly I saw a man standing in the room, and I don't think my daughter saw him. It was for my eyes to see, and he was standing in a corner of the room and had white clothes on him, and then he had a rope, like a rope, a little like a yellow rope around him, and then he had white hair and white beard, and he was brown in his skin, but it was like shining. metallic skin like he had. It was not a human's skin like we have here on Earth. It was metallic. And he was talking to me and told me about what have happened in my childhood, in the past, what have happened. And he explained for me how my adopted older sister pushed me out in the street and a truck drive over me and I was killed. And then I remember some of it, because I remember that I wake up in a cold, dark room, and I was laying nude on the table. And suddenly, when I laying there, I felt like metallic hands was holding my shoulders to make me be still with my body. And I know today that it was this higher priest that stood in the room in year 2000 and talk about my past, my childhood, what have happened there. And the metallic hands was holding me in my shoulders, and from the ceiling came a very bright light down on my little body and make a healing on it, so I come back to life. And that was God that was there. So it's different. And then in 2000, when this, I know today, I thought it was Jesus in that time, but I know today it was a higher priest that was in the room. And when he left my home, then suddenly a voice, a very bright voice, dark but bright voice came out from the ceiling, and I was frightened that my neighbors around in the house should wake up and be angry. But I know today that it was a spirit voice, so no one heard it more than me that should hear him. And I knew it was God that was talking to me, even if I had not knew him so much. But I had experience of God earlier, and he was telling me one time to in the hospital to go and heal a girl when I was 16 years old. So I knew his voice. And he was talking to me in August 2000. And he talked about the future. And I was thinking, I can never do those things he is telling me. I am married, I have a nice job, I have a nice home. I should never leave this home and do those things that he is saying. But today I have done those things that God told me I should do in the future. And then I knew it was God. I didn't know in that time, but later on, when I come to know God better, I knew it was the true God, the God, the only one, not Jesus, the one. And he said to me that my daughter should be allowed to have a child in her womb. He said to me, and I was laughing inside me when he said that to me, because my daughter can't be pregnant because she don't have this ovary, and she don't have those, so she is not fertile. She can't have a child in a natural way. But God told me that I was laughing inside me and not outside. But God said to me that you laugh like Sarah. And God knew that I didn't know the Bible. So he said that to me. You laugh like Sarah and Abraham did. When he said that, Sarah and Abraham, I knew who it was, who they were. He said that. You laugh like Sarah and Abraham did when I told them. So I didn't understood it in that time, but later on I understand. He said that he was the old God, the first God, the only God there is. He said that because he was talking to Sarah and Abraham. And so it became that my daughter, we were to the hospital, and they took out egg from her body because she had egg, but she couldn't bring it out, those egg, and those are frozen. They are frozen and laying there. And then later on it came a law that say that those that have taken out egg, the egg can only laying in the freeze for 5 years. I say this because if someone is saying, but the egg is gone because they're low. But it isn't low because my daughter was into science. They did research on her body, and the egg is laying in the research freeze, not in the ordinary. So they are still there. And I have told my daughter, if you don't want to have a child, you should give those eggs away to someone that want to have children. And my daughter, of course, she wants to have children. She is an adult person now, but there is no man that have been in her life. She is with men, but they don't ask her to marry them. I don't know, it's on her to decide because she is adult and I can't do anything about it. If she want to give it away or if she want to have those eggs for herself. But she have. And then later on, when my husband come home from Texas, I have helped him to get a surgery on his legs. He had one leg, and one was only hanging. It was not working. And I have helped him to get the surgery, and they could do a real leg for him that was working like a normal leg. It was only that they place in metallic inside. instead of the bone that was lost in it. He had a knee, so he could bow the leg. And he was out on bicycle, and he was out and running. A normal body did he got. But he was very bad in the hospital. He flirting with the nurses, and they come with wine bottles. He was drinking, and they come with pizza for him, and all kind of bad things that he should not take. But he was healed. But before he come home, I left him. Because I had to go. I had to do what God was telling me that I should do in the future. And I told my daughter's father, it was not he in Texas, that was the father. I said to my daughter's father that he had to come and get his daughter because I'm going back to United States because God wants me to do it. And I can't bring with me my daughter in what I should do for God. So he have to take his daughter home, and I didn't pay the bills. I collect the money to have money to take buy a flight ticket, and my daughter's father, he drove me to Copenhagen airport, and then I left, and I didn't know where to go, but I started in Seattle, up in the north of United States, and but it was not there I should be. And I have told you that I had a connection with a man in Chicago area, and I had to call him and ask him to help me because I didn't have any money in Seattle, and I needed to have a place to stay. So I called him, and he bought me a ticket to Chicago, and on his way back home with me in his car, he said, I don't understand how I could buy you an airline ticket. He's shaking his head. And I didn't understand why he did say this. But then I come to know that he didn't give $1 to a person. But he bought me an airline ticket in December 19. And he said first to me that I don't think there is a ticket to Chicago because it's Christmas time. But he said that to me that I'm going to call them in the airport in Seattle and see if there is a place, a seat place for you in an airplane to Chicago. But I doubt it. He said that to me. But suddenly he called me back and said, I can't believe it. He said that someone have left their place, the seat place. There is one place empty in the airplane, he said to me, and I bought it for you. So it's for, you can take the flight to Chicago, he said. It was special that I got hold on him because he say I'm normally is free from my job, and he have given me the telephone number to his job, not to his home. And he was on his job, and he answered. No, it was the opposite, that he was home, and normally he should work night, and he was at home because they had a threat. Something was going wrong, and he was working operator for the nuclear plant, and he said we get the telephone call that we couldn't come in and working because something is wrong with the nuclear plant, he said. I should have working, and I had not the telephone number to his job. And it was very much God did in that time. And then I was with him over Christmas and New Year, and he was very wealthy, rich, but he was drinking very much. And I couldn't stay with him because his ex-wife was hunting us, both him and me, and I was scared of her going to kill me. And so I have to go. And then I took a flight to Florida. So I come to that side, and then I was in Florida for a time, and then I come up to Virginia Beach area where I was staying most of the time. So that's how I started my walk. I didn't know God at all when I come to United States in December 18, 2000. But I come to learn about how I had help from heaven in all things. I had knife on my throat. I had gun on my head. I was kidnapped. I was locked in. I was on my way to fall down in the water, busy water, and be killed in that way. I had a snake in my room. It was many things, but they couldn't kill me. I got help in everything, even if it seems like now I'm going to die. And if you look in my episode list, you see those 2 dogs that was sitting on the side of me that could kill me. And I sit there, and they didn't do anything to me more than licking my ears and smell my ears with their nose, sitting so close to my body to only could open their mouth and kill me. And but I escaped it because God was with me. Heaven was with me. And this is how it started, everything. And I wanted to repeat this. I think it's my 3rd or 4th time I'm talking about this, the beginning of why I come to United States and was homeless for 3.5 years. I was homeless, and it was when the terror attack in September 11, 2001. I was in Virginia Beach in Norfolk when it happened. So much have happened, and I have talked about it, but it is, as it is 570 episodes I have recording, those episodes where I talking about how it started. It's maybe it's hidden for you, so you have not heard it. But now I have fresh it up to place it first in the list now. I'm sorry for you that follow me and hear it once again. You maybe are tired to hear it, but maybe you find something new in it, in my story, that make you understand my walk under heaven. And I don't know what will end the whole thing, because I don't remember what God was talking to me about the future. I know that I saw a clock when it started, and I saw a clock in the air when it ended, and it was 2.5 hours. I was gone, and God was talking, and I didn't know what he was talking about because I was away. I was not in that room, and then I pay a hypnosis man that did a hypnosis on me in early 2018, and I asked him to help me to find out what was going on in those 2.5 hours that I don't remember. And I remember this with a higher priest talking to me. I remember when God was starting to talk to me, but I didn't remember at least half of it. I don't remember. But the hypnosis, you have it in the list. The hypnosis, I am talking about that. Hypnosis 2018. And in the hypnosis, I come to know what I did in those maybe 2 hours that I don't remember. I come to know what was going on, and that is very interesting. So try to find that chapter, the part of the podcast that is Hypnosis 2018. So thank you for listening, and thank you for listening again if you have heard this before. So I hope you get something from it. And I love you, and God loves you more because he knows you and where you're coming from. Thank you.